Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a very, very important show this evening. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you very much for being the best moderators in all of YouTube. James Whalen, thank you, James. Thank you very much, James, for your support always. What's up, Rabbi? Thank you so very, very much, James. And to my super chat, I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding, but I have James Whalen, I have J-Man. J-Man, the media spin going to be so vile. Exactly. Well, we're just starting. Pete Solano, hello. Eric, Luke, James Whalen, thank you as always, James. This is going to be the most interesting, chaotic, unbelievable 2 months, 7 weeks, less than 2 months before the election. I'm telling you, before we get to the terrible news, tragic news that Justice Ginsburg passed away, and it is tragic, even though, I've become a lot more conservative. She was a good woman, a good human being, and the Supreme Court now, this is the worst time. This is probably the worst time in the history of the Democratic Party. They have no chance to win the election, in my view, even with the pressing need to ensure that the court does not go. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, James and Luke and Eric H526, J-Man, everyone here. If when President Trump chooses Amy Coney Barrett, because he'll choose Amy Coney Barrett, I've been talking about this for a long time, and I'm going to read you a great article today in the Federalist by Jordan Davidson and a couple of tweets from Sean Davis of the Federalist. 3 Supreme Court justices were confirmed in less than 45 days, including Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But we have President Trump's going 8 years, and you watch. This is only going to bolster the reality that Biden will be replaced eventually, especially since he's not doing as well as Clinton does among black and Latino voters. Okay, Clinton did better and still lost the election, and she outspent Trump 2-1. So they outspent Trump 2-1 and still lost. The polls are absolutely meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. They were dreadful in 2016. Dreadful. But you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where Kaylee Smith, Trump 2020 landslide, baby. Thank you. Kaylee, thank you very much. James Whalen, Kaylee Smith, thank you. You have a situation where President Trump is on his way to easily defeating Biden, but it ain't going to be Biden. They're going to have to switch with Hillary Clinton. That's another story. We'll get to, right now, what President Trump needs to do or what could very well happen. So they're going to try. It'll be very interesting how they stop President Trump. I mean, the usual suspects are Mitt Romney. Who are Mitt Romney and Susan Collins. Because Harry Reid, really quickly, they always do this to themselves and they blame Russia. So in November of 2013, Senate Democrats led by Harry Reid used the nuclear option to eliminate the 60-vote rule on executive branch nominations and federal judicial appointments. Why Republicans are suddenly thanking Harry Reid for a 2013... Hold on one second. Harry Reid, what he did... is it used to be 60 votes. So Harry Reid... Let's just read this really quickly. God, why is it so? It's always so difficult to find anything on Democrats. It's unbelievable. Okay, so Harry Reid, what he did was they said to him, look, you know what? It used to be 60 votes. And here, Obama-era rule change. Oh, my God. At the urging of Majority House... Okay, so this is The Atlantic. At the urging of Majority Leader Harry Reid, Democrats had just voted along strict party lines to change the rules of the Senate, deploying what had become known in Washington as the nuclear option. McConnell and his Republican colleagues were furious. Under the new rules, presidential nominees for all executive branch positions, including the cabinet, and judicial vacancies below the Supreme Court could advance with a simple 51 votes. The rules for legislation were untouched, but the 60-vote threshold for overcoming a filibuster on nearly all nominations were over. And then you look. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Harry Reid, Supreme Court. Vote. Okay, here, nuclear option. Why Trump's Supreme Court pick needs only 51 votes. So they did this to themselves. It's so hilarious, too. They're so inept and incompetent. They think they're the smartest people in the room. It's so funny. And then they do this to themselves all the time. It's so funny. James Whalen, thank you. Kaylee, thank you. Sandiford! Nominations should wait until January. It both sends a message of confidence and victory and signals a return to old conventions. Sandiford, I'm actually, you know what? You know what? I can't disagree with that. Other than my heart tells me I just want President Trump to go ahead and do what he needs to do, especially since they changed the vote. They changed the protocol. But Sandiford, that is a logical and rational viewpoint. Pilgrim Media, Mr. Goodman feeling more positive. Dems are livid on Twitter. Oh my, they're always livid. Pilgrim Media feeling more positive. Dems are livid on Twitter tonight. Oh my God, thank God I'm not on Twitter. Pilgrim Media, thank you. Old school dad man, Biden's running mate. old school dad man. J-Man, so odd. Everything is turned out in Trump's favor. Exactly. Aussie woman. Good day, HA. Good day as well. I hope all is well. Aussie woman, thank you for watching. This is enormous news, Aussie woman, and to my Australian crew. I have the strongest Australian crew in all of YouTube. Thank you to the Aussies watching. Thank you, Aussie woman. Thank you so very much. Nuclear option. Aussie woman, everybody here. This is why Democrats are so inept. It's really hilarious. Nuclear option. Why Trump's Supreme Court pick needs only 51 votes. So they were almost certain to. They were expecting to get the Senate. They were expecting Hillary Clinton to easily win in 2016. And I don't know if I told you, everybody, but I was quoted by NPR, and the quote is below. In 2015, I said Clinton would lose to President Trump. I called the election one of the few people on the planet to call the 2016 election. I want to read you this. This is how inept and incompetent they are. And then they can't blame Russia for this, although they probably will somehow. When President Trump announces his replacement for retiring Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy on Friday night, this is a little while back, his nominee will only need 51 votes in the Senate to be confirmed. But for the vast majority of American history, nominees for the nation's highest court effectively needed at least 60 votes, which often required some bipartisan support for the president's pick. Otherwise, a filibuster could hold up a nomination indefinitely. So what happened? How did we go from 60 votes to 51? Because the Democrats are the biggest imbeciles on the planet. You're talking about the most arrogant fools. There hasn't been a political party or ideology, or there hasn't been a political side in the history of mankind so inept as today's Democratic Party. It's kind of hilarious, too. Thank God President Trump is going up against the biggest buffoons of all time. They say Trump is a clown. No, they're the biggest clowns of all time. Playing Despacito on a phone. They're not even trying anymore. But anyway, enter the nuclear option. It wasn't just Supreme Court nominees who needed 60 votes. Federal judges and cabinet secretaries needed them as well. But this arrangement had always been profoundly irritating to the party in power. So the Democratic Senate Majority Leader, Nevada's Harry Reid, the former pirate Harry Reid, decided to use the nuclear option. The nuclear option was implemented for the first time, and the Senate rules were changed. So nominees for cabinet posts and federal judgeships could be confirmed with just 51 votes. Republicans cried foul. Despite threatening the nuclear option in the past, and Democrats who had been opposed to such rule changes quickly changed their tune. Then Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said at the time, "You'll regret this, and you may regret this a lot sooner than you think." So they're like, basically, they were thinking they were going to get the Senate and the presidency. It wasn't even going to be a big deal. But did that apply to Supreme Court nominees? It did not. Reid did not change the rules for the Supreme Court, meaning the nominees still effectively needed to meet the 60. But then the Senate and the White House changed hands. Again, Republicans took the Senate in the 2014 election. GOP Senate Leader Mitch McConnell instead waited for the 2016 election, hoping a Republican would be elected president. McConnell's move was criticized, an unprecedented breach of political norms, but he got his wish when Mr. Trump was elected. Mr. Trump nominated Neil Gorsuch to fill the seat in 2017, but with the GOP possessing only a narrow majority in the Senate, McConnell's Republicans reached for the nuclear option. Once again, the parties flipped sides, and when the parties flipped sides on whether the nuclear option was justified. So it was because Harry Reid. It doesn't really explain the protocol or how it changed, but basically it was Harry Reid who, New York Senator Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader, said he regretted that Reid had used the nuclear option in 2013, even though he had backed the move at the time. Of course they regret. McConnell, an outspoken opponent of using the nuclear option when he was in the minority, now justified it by citing what Reid did as precedent. The Senate rules were changed for the Supreme Court nominees, allowing them to be confirmed by a simple majority. So, the conservative Gorsuch was confirmed days later to the Senate vote in a 54-45 vote. So, Politico, this is 2013. Senate goes for a nuclear option. Senate approves historic rule changes on Thursday by eliminating the use of a filibuster in all presidential nominees. Okay. So this is hilarious. This is in 2013. But it's very important to understand that it was Harry Reid who first started this. Reid, I have set the Senate for nuclear option. Senate Minority Leader is predicting a Democratic majority Senate next year could break out the nuclear option to change the rules on Supreme Court nominations. The outgoing Democratic leader told Talking Points Memo that he's paved the way for what would be a historic change to Senate rules, allowing Supreme Court nominees to bypass the 60-vote procedural requirement. Oh, my God. That's so funny. Oh, my God. Aussie woman, hello. Again, hello. Hunter's Moon, Graham. Open threats against Minch on social media by Dems. They're completely unhinged. Hunter's Moon, they're completely unhinged. But that's all. They've been threatening for 4 years. Nobody knows who I am. I got a death threat. Then instantly the police officer said, hey, you know what? Second Amendment. And I did. So that's why I embraced the Second Amendment, to protect myself and my family, so I'm always protected. It's unbelievable. They're always threatening. They think that they're like scorn and they're anger. It's like, you're inept and incompetent, Democrats. Don't blame Russia. Here, this is the 2016 Reid. I have set the Senate for nuclear option. He paved the way. They paved the way for their own demise. So before we get to Amy Coney Barrett, let's just rejoice and just relish the absolute beauty of how they've paved the way. They've paved the way for their own downfall. It's kind of funny. And I'll be doing my first segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel right after this, long live stream after this live stream. But this is just really, really interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, you definitely subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'll be doing another segment on this topic on H.A. Goodman's other channel. So I'm going to ramp that up sooner rather than later. I mean, this is like a gigantic asteroid just hit the 2020 election. This is really important. Reid, I have set the Senate for nuclear option. October 24th, 2016. Almost 4 years. We're almost at 4 years ago. Senate Majority Leader. This is interesting. This is so hilarious. Oh my God, this is so hilarious. Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid is predicting a Democratic majority Senate next year could break out the nuclear option to change the rules on Supreme Court nominations. So he basically paved the way for Mitch McConnell to completely change the rules of the Senate. Instead of a 60-vote threshold, now you have to hear like about 1 or 2 or 3 turncoats who are Republicans. Oh, well, it was Susan Collins. And, maybe Mitt Romney. But, see, they're not going to go down in history as the 1 Republican or the 2 Republicans. Actually, you would need, 3 or 4? 3 Republicans, right, to flip. The outgoing Democratic leader told Talking Points memo these paved the way for what would be a historic change of the Senate rules. See, this was before they realized that the Russians interfered in the election. See, the Russians interfered when they lost. There was no interference when they were going to change. They actually changed the rules of the Senate, allowing the Supreme Court nominees to bypass a 60-vote procedural requirement and be approved by a simple majority. Quote, Harry Reid, I really do believe that I have set the Senate so when I leave, we're going to be able to get judges done with a majority. Thanks. Hey, Democrats, do not blame Trump or Trump supporters or Republicans or Russians or aliens from Jupiter or Mars, extraterrestrials. Don't blame anyone but yourselves, you incompetent fools. Blame Harry Reid. It's clear to me that if the Republicans try to filibuster another circuit court judge, but especially a Supreme Court justice, I've told them how and I've done it. Not just talking about it. I did it in changing the rules of the Senate. It'll have to be done again. They changed the rules of the Senate. I know, Democrats. You're just so intelligent. Not. Reid's comments come as Senate Republicans have refused to give Obama Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland a hearing or a vote for more than 8 months. They were able to do this. This is the interesting thing about Democrats. They're like, Mitch McConnell didn't allow a vote. Yeah, because he ran the Senate. You utter buffoons. You have to confirm the Supreme Court nominee in the Senate. So if the Democrats ran the Senate, and if it was an outgoing Republican president, they would have done the same thing. The problem was they were so certain. This is hilarious. This is so hilarious. And this is just so hilarious. They were certain that Clinton was going to win. They were certain that they were going to get the Senate as well. And they were going to have a Clinton presidency and they were so arrogant, and they were so egotistical, and they're such a bunch of arrogant narcissists that Harry Reid said, okay, let me get this little. Okay, got that prehistoric bug meets Lysol. They said, well, you know what? We don't need the 60 vote majority. Okay? Old school dad, man. Let's see. Oh, yeah. They never thought she would lose and stack the courts. That's why Trump had 125 vacancies. Exactly. Renee Miete. Joe Biden's teleprompter. Joe Biden's teleprompter 2020. Big toe. Joe is looking terribly lately. I wouldn't be surprised if he falls asleep within the month. Big toe. It's happening slowly but surely. Sandiford. Big toe. Thank you, Big toe. One of the great names on this channel. Sandiford. Never follow your passions, but always bring them with you. I want Judge Barrett too, but by sticking to tradition, he highlights DNC hypocrisy. Well, that is one way of looking at it. Sandiford, thank you. Big toe, thank you. Kathy DePoy. Hey, have a great live stream, H.A. Goodman. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, as always. Aussie woman, thank you again. J-Man, Kathy, thank you. So, in 2013, Senate Democrats changed the filibuster rules on most of President Obama's nominees, allowing them to get approved by simple majority, but left the 60-vote hurdle intact for the Supreme Court nominations. However, the 2013 shift, the most significant change to Senate floor procedures in decades, has sparked years of backlash from Republicans who warned that it undercuts a minority party's ability to block a president's nomination. Democrats, this is hilarious. Democrats have repeatedly blasted GOP leadership for ignoring Garland's nomination, but face an uphill battle to get his nomination through the Senate. Under current Senate rules, they would need 60 votes, meaning Republican support, to get Garland approved this year. With Reid retiring, any push to change the filibuster rules if Democrats win back the Senate would have to come from Chuck Schumer, who is expected to be the Democratic leader. Schumer also sidestepped a question about potential rules change on the Supreme Court nominations earlier this month, telling CNBC, I hope we won't get to that, and I'll leave it at that, meaning, oh yeah, he was going to definitely go ahead. So the key paragraph here, the outgoing Democratic leader told Talking Points memo that he's paved the way for what would be a historic change of the Senate rules, allowing Supreme Court nominees to bypass a 60-vote procedural requirement and be approved by a simple majority. This is absolutely hilarious. I really do believe that I have set the Senate so when I leave, we're going to be able to get judges done with a majority, like a simple majority. It's clear to me that if Republicans try to filibuster another circuit court judge, but especially a Supreme Court justice, I've told them how, and I've done it. Not just talking about it. I did it in changing the rules of the Senate. It'll have to be done again. This is absolutely hilarious. They did this to themselves. Like they always do it to themselves. They do themselves all the time. That's all they do. When they're not blaming Russia for all their failures, they're changing the rules of the Senate to make it easier for a president, and they never thought that President Trump would win. They never thought that he would win. They never thought that he would win. And they were so arrogant, and they were so they were drunk with arrogance and hubris, and they were setting up because they thought that Clinton would go 8 years. She'll be there on that ballot again. They thought, ladies and gentlemen, and this is like really, really an important point, and we'll get to Amy Coney Barrett in a couple of minutes, but it's really an important point that you need to remind anyone who complains. They did this to themselves. Harry Reid did this to themselves. They did this to the Democratic Party. I did it in changing the rules of the Senate. It'll have to be done again. I really do believe that I have set the Senate so when I leave, we're going to be able to get the judges done with a simple majority. The outgoing Democratic leader told Talking Points memo that he's paved the way for what would be a historic change of the Senate's rules, allowing Supreme Court nominees to bypass the 60 vote procedural requirement and be approved by a simple majority. Okay. So, I mean, they did this to themselves. They did this to themselves. They have nobody to blame but themselves. Birds Nation 302. Quantum football. Shana Tova. Thank you so very much. Baruch for the open seat. Baruch HaKek. Yes, quantum football. Shana Tova to you and to everybody here. Happy New Year and Shana Tova to the Jewish viewers. And thank you so very, very much. And Shana Tova to everybody. Pilgrim Media. Will SCOTUS decide the election like 2000? Possibly. But it's just so important, ladies and gentlemen. We have 700 plus people. We're going to get over 800 this evening. It's very important. I can't stress to you how important this is to understand that Harry Reid paved the way. Harry Reid paved the way for this. Now, President Trump, see, this is what they don't get. They're like, well, you know, with Merrick Garland, you don't understand. You don't understand. It's like, you didn't own the Senate. Republicans had the Senate in 2016. Well, you know, it's hypocrisy. You're full of ask Tara Reid about hypocrisy. Ask Christopher Steele about hypocrisy. Okay, you can't get bigger hypocrites than the Democratic Party. You cannot get people who are more hypocritical than Democrats. It's impossible. You just look here. This is interesting. NBC News. McConnell went nuclear to confirm Gorsuch, but Democrats changed Senate filibuster rules first. Senate rules have changed in recent years, allowing presidential picks to be confirmed with a simple majority. Eliminating the filibuster for presidential nominees. In 2013, Senate Democrats, then in the majority, utilized the nuclear option for the first time. Frustrated with what they considered the relentless Republican obstruction of President Obama's appointments, Democrats, led by Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid of Nevada, changed the rules so that lower court and cabinet nominees could be confirmed with a simple majority rather than the typical 60-vote threshold. Okay. But wait, there's more. McConnell rallied against the change at the time, though the 60-vote threshold still applied to high court nominees. However, when it came time to confirm Gorsuch in 2017, near unified Democratic opposition and the GOP's own slim majority of 51 Republican senators made getting a 60-vote supermajority impossible. So, okay. Okay, so it talks about... I'm trying to get here. Where is Reid? There's more here. Fact-checking the Biden rule. To justify the decision to break from Supreme Court nomination precedent, Republicans pointed to a similar appeal made by none other than President Obama's own Vice President, Joe Biden, decades earlier. This is hilarious. It is my view that if a Supreme Court justice resigns tomorrow or within the next several weeks or resigns at the end of the summer, President George H.W. Bush should consider following the practice of a majority of his predecessors and not. Oh, okay. So they followed the Biden rule. So this is, okay, so McConnell went nuclear to confirm Gorsuch, but Democrats changed Senate filibuster rules first. Well, that wasn't as good in blaming Harry Reid. That article wasn't as enjoyable in terms of blaming Harry Reid, although that says Democrats. Oh, this is Vox. 6 months later, this is 2014, Democrats have no regrets about using the nuclear option. Oh, wow. So, just want to see this here. So let's just get another article really quickly. I just find this so interesting. Washington Post. Reid, Democrats use nuclear option, eliminate most filibusters on nominees. This is 2013. And this was started, 7 years ago by Democrats and Harry Reid. And it's like, we'll get to, just really quickly, I just want to find another, we'll get to, we will get to Ruth Bader Ginsburg in a second. So I just read to you a NBC, an article in The Hill basically saying that Harry Reid paved the way for the 50 vote threshold. And this is why they won't be able to stop, because Republicans have what? They have 3 or 4 more Republicans in the Senate. They control the Senate, and they don't have to have a supermajority. So I don't know how Democrats are going to, and it's because of Harry Reid and Democrats. All right, we'll get to... Well, anyway, they paved the way for all of this. They have nobody to blame but themselves. And it's really interesting because they always try to paint everything as, it's always Trump's fault, no matter what. Here, this is a good one. Let's see. Let's just really quickly. This is a good one. Trump gets to fill Kennedy's seat, and it's all thanks to Harry Reid. This is the Washington Post. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, this is 2018, is just following the rules. In 2013, then Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid used a simple majority vote to change the Senate's rules, allowing confirmation of judicial nominees. By the same simple majority vote, at the moment, the politics of judicial confirmations entered their end stage. The Senate majority now rules on when and who will get confirmed into the federal courts. When McConnell adopted the Reid rule last year for Supreme Court nominees to break Democrats' filibuster against the nomination of Gorsuch, he was merely allowing the majority of the Senate to advise and consent. And when confronted for the first time in decades by a vacancy in the Supreme Court during a presidential election year, McConnell invoked the Biden rule. Okay, so the Biden rule was well, we're not going to vote on Merrick Garland, but now, of course, they're not following the Biden rule, which it's okay. It's okay. It's Democrats who pushed for, they should call it the Harry Reid rule. They pushed for the simple majority. It's fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. This is fascinating. So then came the Reid rule. Here we go. Reid was counting on holding the Senate through 2016 at least, and perhaps beyond, but suddenly the sharpest of double-edged swords was in the GOP's hands when the Republicans took back the Senate in 2014, and with that, control of the confirmation process. They paid back Reid with interest, slowing nominations to a crawl in 2016 when McConnell declared even before President Obama nominated Judge Merrick Garland that no nominee, whatever his or her background, would receive a hearing or a vote. The people voted. Trump won. Justice Gorsuch filled the Scalia seat, and Trump nominee will fill the Kennedy seat. Where we have ended up in 2018 is actually where the framers began when they declared in Article 2, Section 2, that the president, quote, shall nominate and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint judges of the Supreme Court. The Senate is a majoritarian body now on all nominations and will likely stay that way. If an originalist majority settles in for the long run on the Supreme Court, everyone can send thank you notes to Reid. So there you go. It's Harry Reid. Trump gets to fill Kennedy's seat. It's all thanks to Harry Reid. So now let's get to Amy Coney Barrett. They're not going to be able to. McConnell pledges quick vote on next justice. Biden says no. Biden, who cares what Biden says? It's hilarious. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Detroit News, vowing to bring to a vote whoever President Trump nominates. So he needs to do this quickly, decisively, just what they would have done. This is Harry Reid changed the rules. It used to be 60 votes. Now it's 50 votes. Too bad, Democrats. You did this to yourself. Sorry. The Second Amendment will be protected. The First Amendment will be protected from your endless censorship and your never-ending quest to ban all firearms for law-abiding people while you defund the police. So, sorry, you want to defund the police and also ban the Second Amendment? Ain't going to happen. Sorry. Some people want to take defending their lives in their own hands, which is normal, especially if you're going to defund the police. Then you should. It's interesting. These people they're like, we need to, you need to put more money in mental health professionals. It's like, have you ever been the victim of a violent crime, or have you ever seen a violent crime take place? What are you going to have a mental health professional stop a person in a liquor store, holding up the place? Excuse me, sir. I just want to talk to you about, maybe you could take some medication and just, okay, that's fine. It's like they live in their own world. They live in liberal land, liberal fantasy world, where everything is good and just. And if you just explain things to people, they'll understand. And if you just abide by reason and forget that people don't abide by laws. So, criminals, I should say, criminals don't abide by laws. So you need the police to protect the lives of citizens and keep people safe, Democrats, yes. And of course, like in every profession, there are certain people who obviously, like, George Floyd was murdered. Eric Garner was murdered. Daniel Shaver was murdered. These are horrible atrocities. And you need to fix and address these issues like you do with medical malpractice, or you do with, there are surgeons and doctors who have done atrocious things by accident or on purpose. You don't abolish doctors or surgeons. So the left is like completely devoid of any rational thought. You address, really serious issues with training. You cannot or federal law. You can't put a knee on someone's neck when they're down on the ground. Okay? That's important. But see, anything the left touches turns to one of the poop just, rotting away on a San Francisco street. Anything the left touches, any movement, is completely just decimated. Because you have the most absurd nonsense. You have the most absurd nonsense. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Montana, thank you very, very much. Hunter's Moon! HRC. Nomination and confirmation. Do the same here. Exactly. Well, that was Bill Clinton. Yeah. Exactly. Pete Solano! Karma caught up to the Democrats. Exactly. So, Pete Solano, thank you. Hunter's Moon, yes. So this is the Federalist. 3 Supreme Court justices were confirmed in less than 45 days, including Ginsburg. They're absolutely powerless. And Democrats are absolutely powerless. And they don't have the Senate. They're not going to get the votes they need because they're not going to be able to pull a Kavanaugh on Amy Coney Barrett. They have 0. So they're like 4 senators. They need 4 senators to flip. And that ain't going to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But they need 4 senators to flip. And it's now a simple majority because of what Harry Reid pushed for. And exactly, Tanya Petras, exactly, Tanya, exactly. And so the next 7 weeks are going to be unbelievable. I've been telling you for a long time on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, that Amy Coney Barrett's going to be the next person. I feel bad that Justice Ginsburg passed away. But, Democrats have done this to themselves. Now, with Tara Reid, you don't hear anything regarding. So, it's believe women until it's Tara Reid and Biden, then you don't believe. Or then you believe but still vote. So it's like, you can't find bigger hypocrites. You can't find, it's like unbelievable. That's why when people say to me, oh, it's too late for Madam Secretary, it's too late for Hillary Clinton. No, it's never too late. It's never too late for anything Democrats want. They're probably purchasing another Steele dossier. They probably want another Mueller probe. Listen, they want to pack the courts. We want to pack the courts. And this is their mentality. There's no rational thought. The Electoral College he's steeped in immorality. Well, you didn't say that you didn't say that when, like 3 days before, the New York Times said Hillary Clinton had a solid electoral college lead, and everyone was saying Clinton was going to win by a landslide. And people like me were mocked in 2016 and 2015 when I said Clinton couldn't win. And the NPR quoted me in 2015. And the actual article was about like people making wrong predictions, and I actually made the right call. And 538 said Trump wouldn't even be GOP nominee. Now, yeah, we want to do the Electoral College is like so unfair. Well, it's in the Constitution, so you would need an amendment, genius. You can't even get Medicare for all past a Democratic-run House. You want to get 2/3 of the House, 2/3 of the Senate, and then there's 2/3 of state legislatures. I forgot exactly how it's done, but you would need tremendous bipartisan support. You can't even get Medicare for all. And they talk about, like, the left is funny. They're like, oh, yeah, people who like Trump, they come from the left and they like Trump. They're like the biggest grifters. It's like, no, the biggest grifters are the people who, in 2016, said vote for Hillary Clinton, who opposed Medicare for all, who run their mouths and yell about Medicare for all for 4 years, and then say vote for Biden. Or then say vote for Clinton when she's going to run. She'll be there again. You watch. They're not going to go with Sleepy Joe, the exhumed body, the Tales from the Crypt wannabe, who plays Despacito, and he's not doing as well as Clinton among black and Latino voters. But I mean, the left is like completely devoid of any rational thought. They can't form a coherent argument. It's always the most obscene, hilarious, absurd, ridiculous. We need to pack the courts. Oh, you want to pack the courts? Well, how about just 100 liberals? You want that? How about 250 liberals and then one Republican, one conservative? Is that good for you? I'll pack the courts. We're going to pack the courts. Really? Are you going to go back in time also and delete the Facebook ads that swung the election? What else are you going to do? Tell us more. It's like talking to like a 2-year-old. We're going to erase the Electoral College also. Really? Oh, that's good. You're going to get the amendment to do that? Yeah. Electoral College, gone. Because, the media is on our side, and then eventually a Republican will get the popular vote. Oh, my God, we need the Electoral College again. It's like, well, what else do you want to do? Medicare for all? Okay. Pack the courts? Okay. Do away with Electoral College? Okay, that's good. Green New Deal? Okay. But it was a resolution. You didn't even want to vote for it. Green New Deal! But you didn't vote for, it was not a legislation, it was a resolution. Green New Deal! Okay. What else do you want to do? What else do you want to do? Oh yeah, universal basic income. Okay. What else do you want? This is like they live in a fairy tale. They live in their own fantasy world where anything happens. P.E. Schiff is calling for another Mueller probe. I believe you're referring to they're trying to investigate the Durham probe. P.E. It turns out the Russians were calling our candidates. That's right. P.E. That's right. That's right. I read that. Something to that effect. Yeah. P.E. Loud citizen. DNC went out Hillary the ticket the day after the election. That's true. That's true. Probably. I'll still be saying it the day after the election also. Loud citizen, thank you. Cruise control. Oh, yes, in the immortal words of Jackie Gleason, how sweet it is. Exactly. Loud Citizen, thank you. PE, thank you. Cruise Control, thank you. Oh, wow. That's three amazing statements. This is kind of funny, too. Like, the headline here is, McConnell pledges quick vote. Biden says no. Biden says no. The teleprompter told Biden to say no. Dun, 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 dun. The Russians want... the Russians have engaged in a disinformation campaign, claiming that because Biden said that Arizona is a city, he's losing his marbles. Dun, 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 dun. The Russians say that you can't disparage Biden on his erect leg hairs with lotion. Dun, 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 dun. MSNBC has confirmed, from CNN has confirmed, the Washington Post has confirmed that if you mock Biden for playing Despacito, that is what the Putin wants. Dun, 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 dun. No. Oh, my God. New poll comes out. Americans, they say that Trump is losing his mind also. I mean, it's all relative. It's like, no. Yet again, you've tried to manipulate reality to fit your warped minds. Nobody thinks Trump is losing his mind. You just don't like his personality. And you try to make everything, like, relative. It's just relative. It's all relative, really. It's just all relative. I mean, look at Trump. Biden said he's running for Senate. Look at Trump. He's worse. And anyway, Putin doesn't want you to... talk about the former vice president that way. That's exactly what they want. They almost talk like they're drunk. I'm going to back the courts. I'm going to have 50 liberals. No, not 50. 65. 75 liberals. Yeah, we'll back the courts. See? Well, why not? And we'll do an electoral college and a universal basic income for everybody and Medicare for all also. And we'll do all these things. And we're going to indict Trump, and then we're going to find out the Russians interference. We're going to do all these things for the country. A reckoning. They sound like a drunk person losing his mind. And the Russians, and there's a reckoning on race. And we're going to pack the cars. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's kind of like they have no ability. They have no ability to see things for what they are. They have zero ability to kind of realize that, well, okay, Harry Reid and Democrats paved the way for the 50 vote simple majority. You cheated Bernie Sanders, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign, and you literally, in the emails written by the slimy fingers of officials who worked for the Democratic Party, the slimy fingers wrote those emails. It wasn't Putin. Elevated Trump and Ted Cruz and I forgot who else. Ben Carson, I think. Literally, they said, let's elevate Trump. And so you elevated President Trump in your own email. Hold on. Pilgrim Media, liberal tears are so delicious. Am I wrong? Oh, they're delicious. Oh my God. Like for politics, yeah. Not for, obviously not for something horrible like Ginsburg passing away. That's horrible. But in terms of like paving the way for the 50 vote simple majority, yeah, delicious. DNC emails. Hold on. Emails elevate Trump. So before we get to... Oh my God. They always wanted Trump. This is Politico. Inside Team Clinton's year-long struggle to find strategy against the opponent they were most eager to face. This is Politico. They wanted Trump. They always wanted Trump. This is November 7th. Oh my God. This is such a beautiful article. Because November 8th was not a fun time for Democrats. Wasn't fun. They always wanted Trump. November 7th. Do you understand? November 7th. This is... No, it's not Politico's fault, but the height of hubris. On November 7th. It's unbelievable. It is just unbelievable. This is a Politico article, but it's just so much fun to kind of, before we get to Amy Coney Barrett, to kind of find out how we got here. So they paved the way because they're a bunch of imbeciles. Reid said, no, you're not going to filibuster anymore. We're going to stop you by making sure that we suffer in the long run. Thanks, Reid. So now there's a simple majority. And they always wanted Trump, so here, this is... There's a Pied Piper strategy. Yeah! Oh my God, this is so great. I can't tell you how beautiful this is. So to take Bush down, Clinton's team drew up a plan to pump Trump up. This is so fantastic. They must have been working for Putin. Shortly after her kickoff, top aides organized a strategy call whose agenda included a memo to the Democratic National Committee. This memo is intended to outline a strategy and goals a potential Hillary Clinton presidential campaign would have regarding the 2016... The variety of candidates is a positive here, and many of the lesser-known can serve as a cudgel to move the more established candidates further to the right. In this scenario, we don't want to marginalize the more extreme candidates, but make them more Pied Piper candidates who actually represent the mainstream of the Republican Party. It wasn't Putin who wrote this. No. It was Democrats. Pied Piper candidates include, but aren't limited to, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, Ben Carson. We need to be elevating the Pied Piper candidates so they are leaders of the pack and tell the press to take them seriously. Notice how they are so nonchalant. Tell the press. They have the press in their back pocket. They can tell the press anything. It's pretty unbelievable. Tell the press. I love that so much. Just tell the press. Tell them. Tell the press. Tell them. What's the problem? Just tell the press. Just tell the press. Just tell them. Of course, if anything that elevated Trump, everything elevating Trump was supposed to be a Russian plot. But they were actually talking about elevating Trump themselves, and this is a Politico article. They always wanted Trump. This is November 7th. Fantastic. Suddenly, they didn't want Trump anymore. You know, it's interesting. On November 8th, they didn't want Trump. No! They elevate Trump. They remove the majority, simple majority. I mean, they do everything. They might as well be Republicans. Jennifer Raymer! Off topic here, but I like you with your hair grown out. Jennifer Raymer, thank you. I guess I should thank Gavin or Garcetti in Los Angeles for not allowing me to go and get a haircut. Thank you, Jennifer Raymer. Thank you. Joe Banana, hello. Jennifer Raymer, thank you so very much. Allie Wolf, thank you. Thank you, Allie. Jennifer, thank you so much. Thank you. So, finally we get to, so they elevated Trump. They did away with the supermajority. Now it's a simple majority. They are going to, it's only a matter of time before they go to San Francisco, pick up some poop, and start throwing it at anyone. They're going to throw poop at people. They are going to just vomit and throw that, poop and throw that. It's going to be like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. What's that movie? It's going to be pandemonium. Pandemonium. This is just so hilarious. Oh my God. I just want to read. There's a person who really likes my writing. She was really, let me just read this here. They keep on bringing up, well, like, no offense to anybody, but like obviously Justice Ginsburg, my fervent wish is that I will not be replaced until a new president is installed. Well, of course, but I mean, McConnell doesn't care about that. So, the problem, the problem is that here we go. Kamala Harris is laughing hysterically again. Always laughing. At what? I don't know, but always laughing. Susan Collins won't say if she's voting for Trump in 2020. This obsession with Republicans that they could try to intimidate. It's kind of funny. It's interesting. You had $1.2 billion in property damage throughout the country. $1.2 billion in property damage. And thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. And it's linked to the left. The left doesn't even dispute this. They came out with a book. One person came out with a book in defense of looting. And CNN is like fiery but peaceful. And literally you have a building in flames in the background. Numerous, journalists, quote unquote, numerous times are like fiery but peaceful. You have $1.2 billion in property damage, and they're completely clueless. Then they blame. Then you have lives lost because of the peaceful protests. How many lives? David Dorn, Burnell Trammell, Ashton Hanna. Trump prophecies predicted this. Ashton, thank you. You wait till the H.A. Goodman prophecy. That's going to be an interesting one. Madam Secretary, oh my God, it's going to happen very soon. All right, so thank you, Ashton. Thank you. Ashton, thank you. Let's read this. The Supreme Court justices, including three Supreme Court justices, including Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who passed away on Friday, were confirmed by the Senate within 45 days of their formal nomination date. This is an article by Jordan Davidson of The Federalist. I've been very fortunate to have been published many times in the Federalist. According to Senate records, Justice Ginsburg, John Paul Stevens, and Sandra Day O'Connor were all confirmed in a short period of time. Stevens' confirmation in 1975 took 19 days. O'Connor's confirmation in 1981 took 33 days. And Ginsburg's confirmation in 1993 took 42 days. You know, even up to the 90s, even the early 2000s, the fringe left was just that, fringe. Now you have, like, the fringe left becoming mainstream. And so there's such a huge divide in terms of ideology, not among most Americans don't look at the fringe left and say, like, most Americans of all backgrounds do not want to defund the police. And yet this is like what they're talking about on the left. But here, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's formal Supreme Court nomination was sent to the Senate on June 22nd, 1993. Her confirmation hearing began on July 20th, and the Senate voted to confirm her on August 3rd. The entire process took 42 days. So it's interesting. You could get a lot more done years back. The past 8 years of President Obama, like 8 years prior to Trump, President Obama's administration, media and like something happened with academia, media, the Democratic Party, Hollywood, corrupt intelligence officials. They came to the conclusion that from now on, we're actually going to, well, you know what's interesting too? I don't know if, I was going to say that we're going to cater to the fringe left, but I don't know if that's even the case, because they're not really, they're utilizing, they want a foil to Trump. They think Trump is this demagogue, but he's not. They can't point to, like, the violence is generally emanating from the left. You have like, here's a question that MSNBC isn't asking. How many black-owned businesses have been destroyed? How many Asian-owned businesses? How many Latino-owned businesses? They don't care. If you were to go, God forbid, you know, obviously not advocating this, but if you were to go, if you had conservative protesters go to any liberal station and vandalize the studios, they would call for SEAL Team 6, they would call for, the B-1 to fly down, and oh my God, it would be, but if it's $1.4 billion in property damage, it's fiery but peaceful. They're so clueless, it's unbelievable. They offer nothing but contempt for Trump. They paint Trump as this monster. The man deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. And this is Rosh Hashanah. What he did, and the left is like their lives are dedicated to mitigating any accomplishment from President Trump. Like, well, de facto peace now. What President Trump did to broker a deal with the UAE and Bahrain and Israel is nothing short of unbelievable and amazing. And the leaders of those countries also deserve Nobel Peace Prizes as well. The UAE leaders and leaders in Bahrain deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, there should be like, they've had joint, or there should be like Nobel Peace Prizes given to Moon Jae-in of South Korea. I mean, Trump was the first president to step foot in North Korea. President Obama destroyed Libya. This is a fact. This is where all the morally righteous. It's so nauseating to listen to Democrats. Oh, so did you see the cages? Yeah, they were built under President Obama. There was a Senate panel that What took place under President Obama's administration in terms of immigration, I can't repeat on YouTube. I'm not even going to take the chance. Why don't you look at the Senate panel that talked about what happened to the most vulnerable people? Worse than anything that took place in President Trump's administration. Worse. And they're like, Stephen Miller. Oh, you're so worried about Stephen. But then they take everything. The worst atrocities took place, like President Obama destroyed Libya with a failed NATO intervention. This is a fact. He even said it was my worst mistake. If President Trump said, gosh, my NATO intervention, my worst mistake, they would never allow him to do that. They would never allow him to simply say my worst mistake. They would never allow that. They would never allow that, ever. Pete Solano! Pete Solano, thank you. I don't know if I'll repeat that out loud, but I don't think I need to implement the Wally Pop rule, but Pete Solano, thank you, Pete. I hope all is well. Thank you, Pete. JSpot51, thank you, Pete, as always. Regardless, you are directionally correct. Thank you, JSpot51. Thank you, JSpot51. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for watching, as always. I do appreciate the kind words and the support and the positivity and the support. Thank you. Ashton Hanna. Problem is that the police and military are conservative. Exactly. Served 6 years. I don't know anyone who voted for Hillary. Ashton, God bless you. Thank you for your service. That's true. Vast majority. Well, 2-1 veterans voted for Ashton. Thank you again. And God bless you for your service. Thank you. Veterans voted 2-1 for 2-1 for Trump. I think that's going to happen again. Ashton, you're 100% right. You're 100% right, Ashton. Thank you. Inverted Earth! What was the exhibit director Ray pulled? What is your opinion of his blatant lies? Well, Chris, the FBI is like... The FBI is like... They're gonna say anything. There's $1.4 billion in property damage. People have been murdered, and it's been Trump supporters that have lost their lives, or people defending property that have lost their lives. And so you have the Bureau saying anything that they can get in terms of favorable media coverage. So Russian interference is nonsense. And you have to ask yourself, what political ideology has led to $1.4 billion in property damage? What political ideology sets police buildings ablaze? What political ideology? Washington Post, Trump suggests he'd consider removing Director Wray over unfavorable testimony. He should. What are they going to do? Another Mueller probe? You would need Jeff Sessions for that. And did I not tell you that whole message board hoax is going to hurt Trump? The media is already like, and then they're going to blame that Trump could be replaced. We're looking at a lot different. Please replace this man. Yes. Now we have President Trump replacing. He needs to get the Supreme Court nominee, replace Director Wray, and their heads will implode. All of their heads will just implode. It will be like too much for them. Inverted Earth, thank you. Brandon Wolf. Brandon, Happy New Year, my brother. Now we shall see just how sick and low the lunatics. Yeah, and it could be frightening. Brandon Wolf, thank you so very much. Time to make it rain. Liberal tear, delicious. It is delicious. Brandon, thank you so very much. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for watching always. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with you, Brandon. I agree with you. They're capable of anything. I'll leave it at that. They're capable of anything. They're capable of anything. God forbid, but they're capable of anything. But Trump fights. So, the interesting thing is like William Barr, Operation Legend. How many informants do you think William Barr and William Barr has? Then you have John Durham with the Durham probe. Then you have President Trump, who's like, yeah, I'm just going to... He wins again, and he's going to win. It's going to come down to 5 to 6 states. They're like, early voting in Virginia. Oh, my God. Like, Virginia's going blue. That's not even a state that Trump is looking at. It's not even a state that, he's going to get Florida. He's going to get Minnesota. He's going to get Minnesota. But you look, he's going to go 8 years, and I don't see how they can stop. I do not see how they can stop. I mean, you're going to see Hillary Clinton come into the mix, and that's going to be the biggest political call of all time. I started 4 years ago. They can't stop the Senate. So once he gets the Supreme Court wrapped up, just a couple days, like it could be a week before, replace the bureau director. I mean, it will be pandemonium. And Democrats are like completely impotent. Like they can't do anything because they've already every single day they're more outraged than the day prior. So what are they going to do? Who cares what Stephen King or Robert De Niro think about anything in terms of politics? Who cares what Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert think about, or Trevor Noah think about politics? Who cares? Nobody cares. Ratings are down for Hollywood, for sports leagues. Who cares? Nobody cares. They just, like, Brandon, thank you. Inverted Earth, thank you. It's like, thank you, Luke St. Martin, thank you. It's actually really bad for the stream if, so I do appreciate the Trump 2020, but if you repeat a phrase too many times, it's actually like it's actually really bad for the chat and really bad for like YouTube. It's part of their policies. Thank you, Luke. Quick draw, Luke St. Martin. Thank you so very much, Luke St. Martin. Thank you. So Trump on whether FBI Director Wray could be replaced. We're looking at a lot of different things. See, all Democrats have is they're the ones who are the most deceptive liars. They're the ones who will say it's fiery but peaceful. They're the ones who won't report on lives lost when it doesn't suit their narrative. They're the ones who blame Russia for their failures. They're the ones who change Senate rules to make a simple majority. They're the ones who, oh my God, we can go. I mean, this is, today I was, it doesn't seem like I do like the stream of consciousness where I'm just, all over the place, but I do research before each one of these segments, and there was a great article that They talk about climate change. Oh my God, climate change. America's biggest oil expansion came under President Obama. July 21st, 2016. You're going to preach about climate change. We're supposed to listen to you about climate change and how the planet and the wildfires and everything. And it's all Trump's fault. America's largest expansion of oil production came under President Obama. President Obama has presided over the biggest increase in oil production in American history. The biggest increase in oil production in American history. And then CNN, it links to another CNN article. Oil production has grown so much that the United States under President Obama became the world's largest oil producer. Compared to Bush and Clinton, the oil production in the United States of America increased dramatically under President Obama. Then there was a fracking, oil and gas production. Gas production increased tremendously also. But he'll have symbolic. Well, he opposed the Keystone XL, but the equivalent of 10 Keystone XLs were built. It's all public relations. That's all they care about is public relations. And then we have to listen to their preaching. The U.S. was pumping just 5.1 million barrels per day when President Obama took office in January 2009, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Fast forward to April of 2016, and the U.S. produced 8.9 million barrels per day. That's an incredible 74% increase. In fact, in 2015, the U.S. pumped the most oil in 43 years. Who was president? Oh, that's right. The Democrat who cared about climate change. So we're supposed to listen. We're supposed to revere Democrats when it comes to protecting the planet. And then they say, well, fossil fuels are destroying the planet. And the largest expansion of oil and gas production took place under President Obama's administration. And we should revere all the nonsense and the hysteria. Because it's not nonsense, but the hysteria is nonsensical. Climate change is definitely an important issue. But forgive me for not caring what Democrats think about that topic also, when President Obama presided over the largest expansion of domestic oil and gas production in the country's history. The natural gas boom has led to clean. Okay, so here. Under President Obama, U.S. gas production increased, this is Forbes, by 35%. U.S. gas consumption increased 19%. U.S. crude oil production increased 80%. So fracking took place at a grandiose scale. All of the things the left can't stand. And it all took place under President Obama's watch. President Obama takes credit for U.S. oil and gas boom. That was me, people. Yeah. Okay. And so, I mean, it's just, the hypocrisy is unbelievable. Then we have to hear how the planet, we have 11 years because of fossil fuels, and it's like, and natural gas is a fossil fuel. So it's like, it's just that when they do it, it's okay. It's like every issue. Believe, except for them. Russian interference, except for the dossier. We can go on forever. Save the planet, except when you are President Obama and you presided the largest expansion of domestic oil and gas production. Oh, we can go on forever. We can go on forever. Sorry about that. So she already went up against Dianne Feinstein and won. So then you had carbon emissions dropping in 2019 to, I believe, a lower point than at any point in President Obama's tenure. But of course, Trump gets like zero credit on that. Absolutely zero. So carbon emissions are at their lowest point U.S. carbon emissions are at their lowest point, if I'm reading this chart correctly, since 1993. And that was 2019. If we tanked the economy to save lives. And of course, the highest unemployment are in blue states, but that's another story. The most lives lost are also in blue states. Most property damage are also in blue states, but these are facts that. So carbon dioxide emissions from energy consumption in the U.S. from 1975. So they're like, Trump, oh my God. Well, carbon emissions are at their lowest point since 1993. Now, this took place under, they're like, well, it's President Obama. Maybe. But he also presided over the largest expansion of oil production. So if you just look, this is a great chart right here. Statista. Anyway, that's just one of the many topics that the biggest hypocrites on. Just and they blame. It's like they blame Trump for what's taking place, like as if President Obama's 8 years of the largest oil expansion ever did not contribute. He's finishing up his fourth year, and he'll go 8 years, Trump. But it's like good luck blaming him for everything that President Obama did or contributed to. Doc BBC! H.A. Badman does the best Mitch McConnell out there. Let's hear Cocaine Mitch explain that. Oh, Doc BBC, thank you so very much. I can't, you know what?
Doc BBC, oh my goodness. Nancy, you snooze, you lose. Amy Coney Barrett.
Doc BBC, thank you. Thank you. Samuel Stafford. It's happening, AJ, November 3rd. Samuel Stafford, thank you so very, very much. Samuel Stafford, thank you. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you so very much, Samuel Stafford. Thank you. As always, my God. As always, Samuel, greatly, 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 greatly appreciated. We have the best live stream in all of YouTube, late evening live stream. And it's because of you, Samuel, and Doc BBC, and James Whalen, and everybody here, Luke St. Martin, Eric H526. We have we reached 800 people tonight. We have 731 people tonight at right now. But Samuel, thank you very much. It means a great deal to me, and your support is just awesome. You've been awesome. So thank you. As always, Samuel, thank you. Thank you so very much, Samuel. Thank you. James Whalen! HA, I know it's off topic, but you think more indictments are coming soon? James, after the election. So James and Samuel, I would say after the election. Because they don't this is the interesting thing. They have zero momentum going into the election. President Trump has all the momentum. And it's interesting. Early voting helped President Trump in 2016. So they think that early voting is going to help. And Hillary Clinton will easily replace Biden. Doesn't matter about early voting. All of Biden's votes go to Clinton because the electors in the Electoral College, that's the way that they will vote. That's according to Politico, and I talked about this for 2 hours last week. There's a Politico article talking about that. Samuel Stafford, thank you again. Samuel Stafford, thank you. James, I think it's going to be after the election. I just don't see. I think that, President Trump needs to replace the bureau director. He needs to get that he needs to get through the Amy Coney Barrett. The next 7 weeks, you will see pretty much the end of the current Democratic Party. Because if they don't perform, you have to win. If you don't win, it's like Al Davis, Raiders, okay? One of the best owners of all, if not the best owner of all time. Jerry Jones, I give a lot of credit to also. But Al Davis, just win, baby. And you got to win. If you don't win, Samuel and everyone here, and Samuel, thank you again as always. If you don't win, after you've spent 4 years on blaming Trump because he worked with Russia, if you don't win, okay, then you're pretty much done. The left is pretty much done this election. It's kind of interesting. It'll be the most intense. From here on out, every day is going to be intense. So I'm going to ramp up H.A. Goodman's other channel. A meteor, just a meteor just hit the 2020 election. So a meteor just hit off the hit the 2020 election. And you're not going to, here's the thing. You're not going to have time. They're not going to have time to blame Russia. They're not going to, have time for any propaganda spin, any marketing spin. They're just not going to have the time. It's going to come down to, are you okay with the last 4 years? And of course, most people are not just okay. Most people either are voting for record low unemployment again, for a foreign policy that reverses neoconservative. Like, this is the left is hilarious. They're like, oh, yeah, the neocons. The neocons are Bush-era Lincoln Project people voting alongside Bernie Sanders. The left is completely dysfunctional. They're literally voting along with Bush administration people. These are the people who Lincoln Project, who run the Lincoln Project. They're so delusional. Dude, Biden's polling lead nears a magic number. No, it doesn't. It is above or close to the majority support in enough states to win the Electoral College. This is also completely meaningless. Their whole thing is now, well, if he reaches a certain number in the aggregate polls, he'll win all the swing states. Like, these polls are complete public relations nonsense. So that Biden up by 9 in Arizona, how is Biden up by 9 in Arizona? This is like Hillary Clinton was in Arizona the week of the election, and she still lost the state. How is Biden, who's running for Senate, it's like they're completely clueless. They're doing it again. They're doing it again to themselves. Meanwhile, he's literally doing worse among black and Latino voters, according to the same polls. So which one is it? Which one is it? They're going to go with Hillary Clinton eventually. Anyway, James, are you worried Dems steal election with mail-in? Michigan, Pennsylvania. There was just an earthquake now. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That was a minor earthquake. Okay. Minor earthquake on the live stream. You know what? I better get off right now. That's like a minor little earthquake. James, thank you. Samuel, thank you. Gonna get off just to make sure everything's okay. I'm sure everything's fine. But anyway, everyone, God bless. To my super chat, thank you. Just had a little minor earthquake, and so I'm gonna get off right now. Samuel Stafford, thank you. Hi-Fi Trucker. I'm in LA. I felt that quake. Hi-Fi Trucker. Stay safe. Thank you. Hi-Fi Trucker. Thank you. Wow. Hi-Fi Trucker. Thank you. Samuel Stafford. Thank you. If I don't do a segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel tonight, I will tomorrow. I'll wrap that up. And thanks, everybody. God bless. Kind of going to wrap this up really quickly. Just want to make sure everything's okay. I think everything's fine. There was a little minor earthquake right now. Interesting. Hi-Fi Trucker, thank you. I felt it also. Wow. Hi-Fi Trucker, thank you. Samuel Stafford, thank you. Stay safe, everybody. God bless. This election has heated up. And watch this channel. Tell your friends about H.A. Goodman, H.A. Goodman's other channel. Samuel, everyone here, thank you. I'll be back tomorrow. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel, everybody. Please tell your friends about both channels. This channel, H.A. Goodman, and H.A. Goodman's other channel. To be part of a newsletter, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. And people, God bless. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Thank you very, very much.